Does everybody know what time it is?
Home Impodcast time!
That's right, Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam, you all know my co-host, Jordan. Happy Friday, Jordan.
Happy Friday, Adam. It's always a pleasure to be talking to you, ending my work week. It's just the best way to cap off a week.
I'm so happy to be here talking with you as well. Isn't it nice that after 130 episodes we can still, just have the passion and the excitement to talk to one another?
Yeah, I'm definitely not marking September 23rd, 2020 on my calendar.
Podcasting partners, it's like a marriage in some ways, and there's highs and there's lows and there's anniversaries and
we've gone to counseling a fair few times.
Sometimes one person drinks too much, and sometimes one person's kind of passive-aggressive, and, you just have to work through things.
And boy, have we. And I think it's just made us stronger.
I know that it's made us stronger. Well, in any case, Jordan, we're not here to talk about our relationship, although, kind of, I guess we always are, a little bit. But
we have certain segments devoted to it, so...
You found a fun little article today, didn't you? You little minx.
Well, you know me. I'm always just searching around on the internet for some weird home improvement stuff, and I found an ever-relevant article that was, I guess it's almost 9 years old now. It's on tvguide.com. Man, do you remember when you used to have to turn to, the TV Guide channel and, wait for all those things to scroll through to see what was on each channel?
Hey, Jordan, want to feel old? Remember the TV Guide channel? Yeah, I do. That was really annoying. And then if you'd miss the channel that you were interested in, you'd have to wait for it to go all the way around again. Really fun times.
And if you were on a smaller TV, you just could not see anything at all anyway. So it was kind of a lost cause.
Yeah, I never had that experience because I grew up pretty wealthy with big TVs. So.
All right. Well, Douglas J. Rowe wrote something almost 9 years ago, and hopefully Douglas is still alive. A lot can happen in 9 years, but article.
Why would he not be alive? That's an interesting reading of this.
Sometimes you just think about stuff when you're reading. And really, this started with we had a conversation. We had a couple of reviews, and a couple of people say that when we're done with the Home Impodcast, we should do an Office podcast. And
literally everyone is saying that. It's crazy.
Everyone, yeah.
I think people would maybe like if we stopped talking about home improvement today or tomorrow and just immediately jumped into an Office podcast. And you know what? Sometimes I think they might be onto something.
They might be, but we're not going to do it. We're going to ignore what would be good for our podcast and just continue talking about home improvement. And this article in particular, I guess... we're going to be doing, in response to, we're not going to turn the whole podcast into the Office podcast, but we are going to do a Patreon episode that is based on The Office coming up for this month. Yep. So it's going to be, May is going to be the Office month on Home Impodcast, I think. That's the plan. Something like that.
Yeah, news to me, but keep going.
All right, so this article is titled, Should Tim Allen Join The Office? So this obviously was back when... Michael Scott had left The Office, and Steve Carell was moving on to other things, and there was a lot of swirling conversation about who's going to replace him, can they replace him, should the show just end, what are they going to do? So this article is very short and sweet. It just says, is a return to primetime in the offing for the old host of Tool Time. Entertainment Weekly reported, based on unnamed sources, that Tim Allen, the 57-year-old stand-up star who... was on Home Improvement, is taking a few select meetings with Greg Daniels, the executive producer of Parks and Rec in The Office. So, there were questions. They asked, what do you think? And one of the things I wanted to talk about is there were quite a few, responses in the comment section. But between 2 days ago when I found this and now, the comments have disappeared. So I guess we're not going to be talking about that. But we can talk about what our thoughts are and if we thought this would be a good idea or not.
Well, Jordan, it's really interesting. I'd never heard this before.
I haven't either.
And I think, I like the Robert California James Spader office probably better than most people. I don't know. It certainly became a different show, but I kind of found that his like just general, I don't know, weirdness to be sort of funny. That was just an interesting wrinkle. But I actually think Tim Allen, I think it kind of would have worked. I'm not sure for how long, but like as a guy that maybe coming in for like a season, as part of the Saber brand or whatever, I kind of think it would have worked. I don't know necessarily what it would have looked like necessarily, but I feel like his like kind of like straight man sort of, I don't know what they would have even done, or if it would have been like zany Tim or grunting Tim or like straight man Tim. But I kind of like the idea of it. And Tim Allen looks great in a suit. Obviously, everybody knows that. So yeah, I kind of like. I'm intrigued by it. I wish he would have come on the show for even a couple episodes to get a taste of that. But yeah, I can envision it working. I mean, they did a lot of things in The Office later on that didn't work, including like bringing the cameraman out from behind and breaking the third wall and doing all that stuff, it got a little bit too meta, I think. But yeah, I sort of am intrigued by the Tim Allen stuff. What about you?
Yeah, I do. Initially, I was like, that's interesting, and thought more about it. And, again, it would depend on how they wrote the character. But if they're thinking a little bit like the Michael Scott character and trying to throw some of that in there and replace some of that with Tim Allen, he does play kind of an accident-prone person on Home Improvement, so that I feel like that part could at least work. And he's pretty versatile. I mean, we just watched Big Trouble. I mean, he can do anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was a star vehicle, obviously. After seeing Big Trouble, I don't think there's anything Tim Allen can't do. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could.
No.
I think he should have played Lincoln, actually.
Well, maybe they'll make Lincoln 2.
Lincoln. T-O-O.
Yeah. That would be terrible. Yeah, no, I agree. I think this would have been interesting and possibly could have worked. I'm kind of bummed, as I said, there was a comment section that had some good stuff in it, and some of the stuff it was talking about, the people basically said, I don't like Tim Allen and I don't like The Office, so it's funny that they would come to an article like this.
Yeah. Good to have their insight, yeah, for sure.
They didn't like The Office, they didn't like Tim Allen, but they felt like reading the article and then commenting on the article. So
I think that's like the internet in general is like, I don't know anything about this, I don't care about this, but hey, here's my opinion.
I have an opinion. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of bummed I couldn't read that. It would have been kind of like user reviews, kind of a throwback to the old glory days of user reviews, but instead
was Explorer DS commenting on this?
I didn't catch the usernames ahead of time, unfortunately, okay. But if I know Explorer DS, and after a few episodes of reading his or her reviews, I think I do.
He was reviewing this article on Christmas. I feel like a lot of his reviews from the early episodes were like Valentine's Day. He liked to get in and watch the episodes and go on IMDb on the big days like that. Jordan, interesting article. Enjoyed talking about it, but we have something we're doing at the end of the episode.
We do.
We might as well just divulge it now. It's this is our Mother's Day episode, so we're doing our salute to our own mothers. So we're going to bring in my mother, and presumably Jordan. Eventually, at a certain point, you will be talking to your mother.
Lil Dauber.
Lil Dauber. Lil. And we're going to tack that on at the end of the episode. And we're talking about Home Improvement. We're talking about growing up with Home Improvement, things of that nature. So stay tuned. If you wonder why we are the way we are, listen to that.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of stuff you don't want to know, but it's worth it. So,
is that true?
I don't know. I mean, we don't know what my mom's going to say yet, so we'll see.
That's true.
Episode 131, before we get there, we should probably talk about, and that's Al's video.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting title. Written by Ruth Bennett. Ruth Bennett last did the Bud Bowl. I think we enjoyed that one. Bud and Tim bowling and Jill bowling and all that kind of stuff. But that was back when Bud was a married man, and he's no longer a married man. Aired on October 15th, 1996. My brother's birthday. Alternative title time.
Do you remember watching this on your brother's birthday?
I do not, and I don't want to lie to you, and I never would.
Yeah. All right. Alternative titles. I have 1, 2. I have like 4 or 5, maybe. We'll see how it goes. All right. Starting with a strong one here. Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Toolboxes.
That is a long title.
Yeah, pretty good. Guy Ritchie's Lock, Stock. Yeah. All right. What do you got?
All right. How about the Monkey Wrench?
Yep. Hitchcocked Up.
I have a Hitchcock one too. Dial T for Toolbox.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Try this one on for size, Jordan. Let's talk about it.
Oh, I thought about that one. I think last time I said caulk, you got mad at me, so I tried to avoid it.
Fair. That sounds like me.
My last one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Video killed the hardware store.
I feel like someone's done that, but I do like it. I have two more. Here,
Okay.
this is probably a repeat. One Direction. I feel like I've used it. I mean, I don't know why I would have used it before, but I'm using it now.
All right.
Last one. Get ready to do some bleeping. Lights, camera, asshole. I hate to be bad on the podcast. I know it's family friendly, but every once in a while we got to get our yucks in. So.
I was thinking about making this non-family friendly anymore. It's just extra work on me.
That's true. Well, hey, your call. I know you've been itching to just let the F-bombs fly.
Yeah,
so.
if anyone's listening with their kids, I guess let me know before I stop bleeping out all of Adam's curse words. We'll see. All right, you want to go through the episode?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna move right to the Mother's Day talk.
Cut to our moms, and see you next week. No,
All right.
Jordan, we have to talk about the aptly named Al's video.
All right. Well, then I guess we should probably open where the episode opens, and that's at Harry's Hardware. And Tim is settling up his bill for the month. It's a super long bill. I'm not sure how he's not bankrupt at this point, but I guess he's making some good money at Tool Time. Al comes in, and he's got some exciting news. He's been asked to star in a video, and I was just wondering, there's just so much I don't understand about 90s video making, I guess. Because who's asking him to make a video?
Yeah, we didn't. They never really went into that at all. Like, he was asked by, Tim mentions later, like, a small production company. But yeah, best to not ask those kind of questions because they're not going to get answered. It does seem entirely like where are they getting the equipment from? Who is Manuel? Manuel just comes and goes as he pleases. Who's this guy? Give me more information. But yeah, I agree with you on that. That was kind of confusing.
Definitely confusing. They're going to be talking about how to stock your toolbox, a great YouTube video that we should probably make ourselves, do you think?
Yeah, that'd be great. We would be very, very qualified to do that.
Tim thinks it's a good idea, which is kind of a turn. Harry wants to join very bad. He did some dinner theater. He was the waiter there, but we're going to get Harry wanting to join this video all episode long. And
this is a brutal Harry episode. Just brutal.
Harry, he's working hard. Let's just say that. Al's the producer, and he wants Tim to be the director. It's a very lovely moment. He starts building him up. He says, "You're a legend," and then Tim knows there's no money in this, is there? And it is.
Yeah.
And they find their film.
In fact, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And I was gonna say, and they also find their filming location because they're already there at Harry's Hardware.
Yeah, that about does it. I was going to mention as well, it probably as important as what you were trying to get out there is Al suggests, hey, bring your own lunch because this is a low-budget operation.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Cold opening.
Good start, yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to do the atom thermometer this episode, but...
Fan favorite, though.
Fan favorite. Everybody was tweeting about it. Next scene.
Right, we're home. Jill's got a new laptop. It is big and blocky. The kids are impressed. Jill doesn't really know anything about technology, but fear not because the boys do. And
a lot.
They're dropping a lot of lingo, a lot of which I gotta believe. I don't know a lot about technology. You certainly probably know more than me, but a lot of this can't be real, right?
Yeah, I think the joke was that they were just kind of making up words here.
Yeah, well, and a good joke it was. I was going to ask you, when's the first time you remember using a laptop? Like what year? Because this is 1996, and so I know that I got my first laptop around college time, so like 2008. But I wouldn't say I started seeing laptops until I don't remember seeing laptops in the 90s. But maybe I just wasn't in that echelon.
No, we didn't have. I mean, the only computer that I really used was we had a Compaq, now defunct, in the basement, and that was a desktop. And I think then we had an HP desktop. So we had desktops for a very long time. I, like you, did not get a laptop until I went to college, so 2008, as you said. And have had one ever since. But, yeah.
Wow.
I did not have a laptop in the 90s. I kind of think the Webbers did. I feel like they did. I don't remember because I was over there, and I feel like they had one. But I don't know. Obviously pretty bulky in the 90s, if this is any indication.
And it's like hooked up to a hard drive or something? I'm assuming that's what that is?
Yeah, there's a scanner hooked up to it, a CD-ROM thing hooked up to it, external hard drive.
Kind of makes you wonder what's the point in having a laptop if you're just going to hook all those things into it anyways and you can't really move it around. Like, maybe just have a desktop.
It was, ahead of its time. They obviously needed some of the technology to get smaller, and it wouldn't have in a decade or two.
Tim, he's excited about the laptop because he likes to play this game called Monkey Town.
Oh, man. As much as I don't want to like this whole subplot, I kind of do.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I didn't, so save your thoughts until the end. I guess we learn a little bit about Monkey Town as the episode winds down, but seems like bananas maybe get you points or something along those lines. Tim and Jill talk a little bit about the video Tim's agreeing to make. He says he wants to be the next Hitchcock. And Jordan, as a film scholar, I'm just I'm salivating through all this. I'm just loving it.
You got pretty excited, and then they talk about Herb Hitchcock, so you weren't as excited.
The joke, of course, is the Herb Hitchcock thing, not Alfred. Herb Hitchcock made a lot of Tool-centric videos, and they're going to go to that well a lot. This episode, the Hitchcock mix-ups, Hitchcocked, I guess you might say. And this is the first example of that. They go through some videos he's watched. Like, one of them is how to fix a rock, which was probably the only time I laughed this entire episode. I don't know, it's just so stupid, I guess. But we get kind of a raunchy joke to end the scene where on their honeymoon they watched a video called How to Fix a Squeaky Bed because Jordan, they was doing it, baby.
Yeah, they really just kind of snuck that in right at the end and just kind of moved on pretty quickly from it. So
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I know you didn't. Next scene.
I wish the Ion Tim girl would have said it though. Rosalind Moore.
Oh my goodness! Do you have a pinup of her or something above your bed or what?
Next question, please.
All right. Next scene, we're on set, and the cameraman Manuel is there. We mentioned him earlier. Initially, I thought, man, this cameraman's a little shaky, but then I learned that Tim has lots of direction for this cameraman. He wants to do all sorts of interesting shots, something that you probably loved, and then Al wants to keep it simple, direct, serious, all that kind of stuff, and that's what we get for the first scene. We're gonna have a lot of scenes in this episode, like camera on film scenes in the second here, so get used to this.
Yeah, I never quite did, unfortunately, but they kept coming. Later on, Tim is a perfectionist, Jordan. He's an auteur, if you will. He wants to be among the greats, like Hitchcock, Scorsese, Spielberg, Fincher, Mike Nichols, so on and so forth. There are a lot of directors, Jordan.
I know. You know them all.
I know all 6 of them. Those are all the directors that have ever done anything. I just named them. Harry is really keen to get involved. He does his first impression here, and it's a Brando. And it's, of course, the famous Brando from Streetcar, where he just yells Stella. Probably the best of his impressions. They do get progressively worse.
Yeah. Does he do 3? Do you need to do 3? Probably 1 would have been fine, right?
Well, the rule of 3, Jordan. If you do something once, it's okay. But you do it 3 times, it just kind of becomes funny.
Well, it didn't really work in this episode, but they're continuing. They have more scenes later. They're doing take 16 on chisels, so it's obviously taking a lot longer. And Al has kind of hit the breaking point here. He says, after he gets this direction from Tim, which says, "Imagine your father left her mother for a chisel," and that's like what he wants Al to act like. That's his breaking point. Manuel conveniently needs some more tape at this time, so he leaves, and Tim wants.
I like Manuel. I don't know what it's as if they had to give this person a name because he's in the show, but they just didn't really want to commit to doing a lot with him. So it's just kind of like, oh, here's Manuel. Everybody in Detroit knows Manuel. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of funny to me whenever they have these like one-off characters that they give names to, only to never return again.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a bio for Manuel. Probably not.
That is an interesting question, and one that I can answer in a short amount of time. So why don't you keep going, and I'll get back to you on Manuel.
Tim is, obviously taking this very overboard. He wants to put some makeup on the tools. Harry comes in and does his second impression, does not really woo Tim or Al. But then Tim leaves, and Harry has some customers waiting outside, because we didn't say this, but Tim is allowed to use the store, but only for a certain amount of time, and then the customers can come in and buy things. But Tim says, no, everybody's got to leave. We got a lot more shooting to do, and so he gets rid of paying customers, and now Harry...
Gosh. It was like a mob outside. It was absurd. There's just like, I don't know, probably 10 to 20 people just waiting outside. It's a crowd of which we've never seen the likes of in Harry's Hardware.
It's a whole bunch of bennies.
Pretty stupid, yeah. Pretty stupid.
Yeah, unfortunately for Harry, he's not going to get any business today, and that kind of pushes him over the edge. Al's over the edge, and they're going to team up, I think, at this point.
Let me get back to you. There is no bio for Manuel, so I'm just going to have to make one up right now.
All right, go ahead.
64 credits to his name. Jordan appeared in a couple episodes of Smart Guy. That'll be of interest to you. He was also in NCIS Miami, and he did a show in the 90s called Parker Lewis Can't Lose, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, pretty interesting career.
Wow. He made the runaround. Wow.
He last appeared in a movie in 2015, independent movie called The Day the Devil Cried. So, interesting stuff from him.
Wow,
certainly.
That must have really stretched his character based on what we've seen here.
He plays the devil that cries, the titular devil. Also, another thing to note, of the two impressions that we get post-Brando, Harry does De Niro in Taxi Driver, You Talking to Me, which is always bad when people try to do that. And then he does the Frankly My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn from Gone with the Wind. So
Is that your favorite one?
They're all bad. I think that the Brando one is the best because it reminds me of Elaine doing it on Seinfeld, which is
that's all I could think about.
Sort of funny. Yeah, the other two are just kind of grating. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about all this is so at the end of the scene you mentioned that Harry wants Al to fire Tim. Al is kind of coming around on it. Tim hasn't really gone as far as you might think he would. I feel like they come to firing him relatively quickly in this episode, and I know it's a time constraint because these are 22-minute episodes, but he hasn't done anything that egregious. I mean, he turns away customers, which I guess is a bad deal for Harry because it's the first day he's ever had customers. But in general, like, Tim is, I don't know, I kind of thought that Tim would maybe lay it on a bit more and be a little bit more insufferable than this. Thoughts?
I guess I could see that, but they're doing like time lapsed here. They go from scene to scene, and they've been recording for like, I don't know, I don't remember how many hours they say, but it probably should have taken them 1 hour, and they've done like 8 hours. So
you are such a Tim apologist. Stop. No, all right, next scene.
All right, so later Tim and Al are out to eat. This is that same restaurant that I don't remember.
Yeah, what's the deal with... It's the same waiter, too, which I didn't know until right now, because it's the same name as the guy. It's Vasily Bogazianos playing Antonio. Why are they going to such a fancy restaurant after kind of a hard day? Is it like a celebratory thing?
I think Al wants to let him down easy.
It's like, take your girlfriend out to a really nice dinner to break up with her, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, you do it all the time, so I don't know.
No, not true. I remember in high school, after we used to go bowling and you would do all those bowling tricks, if you'd want to break a girl down easy, you would take her out to Archie's and then buy her like a big old breakfast casserole wrap kind of thing, and then you do it that way.
I'll tell you what I did like at Archie's. It was those potato skins. Those were good.
Yeah. Archie, Leo.
I can't.
Right?
Before we move on, I can't believe you would call my act a bunch of tricks.
Yeah, you're right. That you know what I should be calling it? Art.
Yeah. Thank you. Give it its due. Yeah. My goodness. All right.
Yeah. When you would try to spin the bowling ball on your finger like it was a basketball, like that's just comedy.
I mean, to this day, my fingers are a little bit like indented because the bowling balls are a little heavy. But
they're shorter than they should be. All right, back to the episode. I guess I don't know why. No need. They are at the very fancy dinner. It's an Italian place, I assume. Same waiter as before. Al fires Tim. Tim is upset. They fight over the check. Tim eventually fighting over the check. Just silly. Al, in his attempt to get the check, runs into this goofy waiter who spills desserts all over himself, and now desserts must be added to the bill. Fair encapsulation?
Yeah, I think you covered everything there. So it's Al's moving on. New director time.
And Tim's moving out. Jordan, I'll let you take the next scene, because it is one of the better scenes I've ever taken in.
Back at home, Eileen is helping Jill with the new computer. They're talking about screen names. I don't know if they're...
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This was like... When you're watching these episodes, like, you know, you get about halfway through and you kind of think to yourself, okay, this is just going to be a bad episode. Or like, is this going to be an okay episode? Or hey, this is kind of a good one. This was the moment for me where I was like, okay, so this is going to just be really bad the whole time.
There's no redeeming quality. Okay, so Eileen's screen name that Jill almost stole somehow is Sick of Tools. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha ha. Adam, I need to know some of your most memorable, or maybe just your first screen name.
Well, Sick of Tools XXL was my first one. No, I think it was. I remember one that was A Dietz 765, and I remember another one that
pretty
was like
down the middle.
Yeah, pretty down the middle. Dietz, and then IE 765 as well. So 7 because it's Mickey Mantle's number. 65 because it was my football number. So there you have it.
Yeah, that was pretty. I don't know. Nothing crazy. I mean, there were so many crazy ones out there. I guess I got a little bit more wild with my screen name than you did. I don't know.
Shocker. I bet it has probably some rap lyrics or something.
Well, the first one, my brother made me, and it was JTL Money 24, I believe.
Because you was getting that paper.
Well, there was a rapper named JT Money. I'm pretty sure. And
Sure.
So we added my initial on there, 24 favorite number. Then I think that morphed into JTL Baller 24 because
that's the one I remember. Yeah, JTL Baller. Not Baller. Was it Baller or Balla?
Baller.
I think it might have been Balla, but I guess I'll take your word for it.
And then there was the Superman face that I had. So there was a Superman 24, and then one of those ones with like the X's. So it was X Dumb Man of Steel 24X.
I remember that one too. That one made me feel embarrassed for you in the moment. But
the best part of that is, does that mean? I mean, I wouldn't have put those X's there for any other reasons that somebody else had Dumb Man of Steel 24.
Yeah, checks out. Yeah, that was me.
So yeah, I went through quite a few screen names, but none as cool.
You kept changing them because girls kept blocking you for being aggressive?
I had to get away from all the girls who kept IMing me. That was the problem.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I had the same problem, totally. That's why I kept switching. All right, Tool time. Or Home Improvement, whatever. Either one. Whatever you want to talk about.
Both. Tim comes in after the screen name conversation, and he is bad-mouthing Al and shares the news that he's been fired before he learns that Eileen is there, and then kind of wants to backtrack a little bit. But he said that Al was all about schedules and budgets, and Jill and Eileen are wondering, well, was he legit? I mean, how much did you get done? And Tim flounders over his words, as I often do, and it's clear that Al is in the right here, and Jill just calls him pathetic when he's looking for comfort. So Tim's not getting what he wants.
I did appreciate how quickly that happened. Jill didn't even entertain the idea of kind of humoring Tim. He just kind of immediately called him a moron. So that was nice. I mean, I know that it's because we sort of fussed around so early on in the episode with nonsense that we have to do this, but I appreciated how quickly it came. All right. Tool time. Backstage. Al and Tim, a little bit awkward, as you would expect. It's Sealant Week. The episode starts. We got Felix, who's back in the fold, and it's been a minute, I would say. I don't know. Can you remember the last time he was on?
Yeah, it's definitely been multiple seasons.
Yeah, okay. Felix is back. Al and Tim, they get into a fight over just, small stuff. It boils over, and eventually it's not about tool time. It's about the directing and so on. And Felix gets cocked. Al gets cocked. Tim gets cocked. Everybody's getting cocked!
I like Felix in this scene. I think he's really funny. He's like, I don't need this, and he's like trying to stay out of it and stuff. I don't know. He's funny to me.
I mean, it was better than everything else that was going on. Sure.
Yeah, it's all relative, right?
Right. Yeah. Next scene at the fence.
Well, before we move on,
you have more Felix. Wow. Okay.
Not for Felix. I was just wondering. Well, not wondering, but I was thinking. Tim grabs like his more power tool. The big giant caulk gun. And I was expecting something way bigger. It just felt underwhelming when the electric gun like shot the caulk out. It was just kind of like a normal spray.
Huh. Well, let me think about this.
You didn't think about that.
I think I was checked out. I watched this one twice, to my great credit. I guess that I was ready for the scene to end, and I didn't really care how it came to a close necessarily. But yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, he's bringing out a caulk gun that's probably 10 times bigger and is spraying a lot more stuff at Al. I mean, yeah, that would be funny.
What I was hoping, yeah, I was hoping that when he hit Al, that Al would fly against the wall. Something like that.
Yeah, because we've never seen anything like that before. You wanted like a Spider-Man kind of web thing. That's sort of what you're envisioning.
I think we all want a Spider-Man type of web thing.
Yeah. You know who was good in the first Spider-Man movie? Willem Dafoe. Hey, Spider-Man. All right. The fence. Let's let Wilson do the work for us. What do you say?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hey, Wilson.
Shalom, good neighbor.
Okay. Well, you finish your vegetable hut. I'm sure it commemorates something.
This, Tim, is a sukkah. It's what is built for the Jewish harvest festival of Sukkot, which, yes, indeed, does commemorate the ancient Hebrews wandering through the desert.
We wander around looking for the bathroom.
Actually, Tim, the tribes of Israel have celebrated in these symbolic structures for thousands of years.
Probably 1,000 years before I celebrate with Al again. He'll be picking caulk out of his beard to the next Sukkos.
I gather you're still smarting from the sting of getting fired from Al's video.
Well, he's impossible to work with.
Well, Tim, you've worked with him for years on Tool Time.
That's because I'm the boss on Tool Time.
Tim, this reminds me of a famous quote by Aristotle. He who has not learned to obey cannot be a great leader.
I should let him do it his way. It's just that I had this vision. I was going to do something magnificent, trying to emulate the great Hitchcock.
Alfred or Herb?
The director, Herb.
No, Tim, you don't want to emulate Herb Hitchcock.
Yes, I do. He's fabulous.
Well, the man was kicked out of the business.
Oh, that's what everybody says.
For going wildly over budget. He hired a cast of thousands for the staining scene and How to Make a Table Part 3.
It was brilliant. Staying at a table during a chariot race? Come on!
All right, Wilson's out in the vegetable tent, where I spend most of my time as well. He is celebrating a Jewish festival where they wander around in tents. Tim shares his sad news here, and we learn, well, nobody learns. Everyone knows that he struggles with taking direction, and then Wilson and Tim get into an argument about Herb Hitchcock, because I guess Wilson's really familiar with Herb Hitchcock's work or something. I don't know. Where you talked about the last scene, you just wanted it to end. At this point, I just wanted the whole episode to end. So
when Wilson starts talking about Hitchcock going over budget and they kind of go back and forth, I was really wondering what what the meaning of everything was. Like it was all. I don't know if it was supposed to be I guess it was supposed to be funny, but like, yeah, it's just super bizarre. This episode has some kind of strange beats as it goes on, where scenes are sort of awkward and I don't almost feel improvised or I can't think of a word. Just awkward, I guess. And as this came to a close, this was one of them. It was just aggressively unfunny, but also just kind of strange. Dare I say Kafka-esque.
How dare you?
Yeah. But yeah, it sucks. It's bad. Wilsometer reading, low as it goes.
As low as it gets. You definitely have a bad Wilsometer reading when you don't get any advice and you just argue.
Wilson has been more combative lately, and I wonder if it's just because he's tired of all the Taylor's bull.
I mean, after 6 seasons, I don't blame him.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Winding it down here, Jordan. Last scene, I guess there's 2 more, but I'm not going to count the last scene.
All right, so we're filming again. Al and Harry are now working together. It's pretty awful. They're like, I don't know, Harry's like hand cranking something, and they're both very close together. It's not going well. Harry wants to end with a song. He's all about the songs. Tim comes in to apologize. And Al gets him to come back and give advice. He realizes that Tim is talented and would help with this project, and Al is kind of in over his head. And Harry kind of insists on singing at the end. And Al and Tim, nothing brings them together more than locking up Harry in the storeroom right here. So it's a great little moment for them to team up and get back to filming, I guess. I don't know.
This is what I was talking about, where it's pretty awkward because they lock Harry in there, and then they both kind of look at each other like, well, anything else? What do you want to do now? And then Al's just like, we're getting the band back together, and then that's the end of the episode. It's just kind of strange. It was as if they did that and just didn't really have anything scripted for the rest of the scene. But yeah, it's pretty bad, and we do have one final scene here, and I'll let you talk about this one because you kind of like is it Monkey Bone, or what's the game called?
I don't even know what the game is called, but yeah, we're back at the computer. Mark is helping his mom. He wants a fee, and she says, I know you're going to go goth in a couple of years, and you're not getting anything from me. So she says, dinner and a roof over your head is plenty. He helps and then leaves. Tim comes down to an empty chair, and he starts Monkey Town. And she loses all of her work that she's been working on. There's some monkey dancing, some monkey noises, and her revenge is killing the monkey. So that is the end of the episode after some outtakes.
Do you wish at the end she would have killed you instead? Because that's how I felt. Roll credits, fade to black. Al's video. Jordan, a nickel for your thoughts.
Yeah, it's not a real. I'll level with you. I didn't even want to watch this twice, so I just didn't. So it's just not a very interesting episode to me, at least. It's a lot of, Tim's a weird director and Al doesn't like him, and how do we get them back together? And I don't know. Not a lot of funny jokes, not very much for the kids to do. It is more of an Al-centric episode, which I guess we've been asking for the last few episodes, but it's not one that we were happy about, I guess. So it's just it's not real interesting to me. I think, as you said, there were a couple of awkward moments. They reuse the same jokes over and over again, like Harry wanting to be in the episode or in the video and trying his little fake auditions, but they're just not. It would be one thing if they went back to him over and over again and they were funny, but they're just not. So when you double and triple down on that, it just makes the episode pretty bad. So yeah, not one of my favorite episodes so far in the very young season 6 run that we're on right now. So what do you think, Adam? Nickel for your thoughts.
A nickel for my thoughts. Yeah, I would say it's very unfunny. It's not even that it's not going for jokes. There are a lot of jokes here, but very, very few of them work. I think I said I liked the fixing a stone thing, but like even that's not. If that's the best joke you got in an episode, yikes, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's stupid. I there just isn't much plot here. Tim is kind of a jerk, but like I said earlier, not like that bad. I guess like you said, the passage of time is supposed to signify that he's been overbearing for like 8 hours, but we only see it for about 2 minutes, so it doesn't really land. Things are wrapped up in a very, very quick manner. Jill says, Tim, you're dumb. Tim argues with Wilson at the fence and then somehow learns a lesson and goes and apologizes. And then the locking Harry in the end. Like, I don't know. Between this and the old, I don't know, the old age makeup episode a while ago, like, there's just some really dumb episodes in season 6. Which I'm trying to, is it better that they're really dumb? Would I rather they be dumb or boring? I guess neither. But yeah, some of the really dumb ones are tough to get through, and this was one of those. Just not, I don't think there's anything here I'm going to think about again. So
I'm going to have dreams about Monkey Town.
I mean, obviously, we're both buying Monkey Town for our PCs, and we're doing a Patreon episode on it next month. But besides that, nothing is going to come back to me in later episodes, Jordan. But that's all right.
That's all right. All right, let's move on then. Sean's social media corner, which I'm super excited about. You can go to thehomeimpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter at Home Impodcast. If you'd like to support the show, go to patreon.com/homeimpodcast or leave a review on your podcasting app. Remember, we're asking for 5 stars if you love the show, or 5 sarcastic stars if you don't like the show. And
I really like that. Yeah, that's one of your better bits today. Yeah, I mean, if you hate us, just like really stick it to us and leave us 5 stars, but be a jerk about it. You know, just be a jerk and leave us 5 stars. Really stick it to us.
Yeah, that'll get us real good where we want it. We don't have a new review for Adam to Sing, which is kind of a bummer. I know we love doing that. But remember, if you write a review with your 5-star review or whatever, Adam will put a little jingle together for you. Not a jingle. That's too much to ask for. A little...
I love making jingles, so let's not rule it out.
All right. Adam, last week we talked a lot about recasting Home Improvement, who we would use for today's stars, and you had a lot of great polls out there, so I'm excited to hear what happened this week on Twitter.
Well, Jordan, the results are in, and I got to say the poll's a smash success. We posed the question of who, last week we brought a different actor to the table for a key role, and we put him in the polls, and here we are. So in no particular order, I'm going to work my way through these. So first poll, which person would make a better Wilson? 30 total votes here. 50% said Ted Danson, which was Jordan's pick, and 50% said Alan Alda, which was my pick. So sadly inconclusive, but 2 really good options, I guess. So here we go. Next one. Which person would make a better Tim Taylor? 23 total votes. 43% said Milo Ventimiglia, my pick. 57% said Jake Johnson, your pick. And Jake Johnson is the right choice. So the people decided wisely. So congrats to you on that, Jordan.
Thanks. It's something I'm really going to treasure.
Yeah. All right, next one. Who'd make a better Brad Taylor? 16 total votes. Jordan, I'm sorry to say, 38% said Jet Juergensmeyer. 63% said Nick Robinson. So, yeah, the people have spoken.
I think we're all, we're both pretty close with Jet, and that's a pretty sad result.
Jet is a close personal friend. 29 total votes here. Which person would make a better Al Borland? Boy, Jordan, you really took it in the nose here. 14% said Anthony Anderson. 86% said Nick Offerman.
I'm fine with that. I think that's the right choice.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, 33 total votes here. Who would make a better Jill Taylor? This is just silly. 48% said Lauren Graham. 52% said Tina Fey.
Woo!
That is so wrong. Tina Fey would be a terrible. It just is such a bad fit. But people have spoken, so I have to respect them.
Suck on that, Adam.
I'm a sucking, but I'm not a liking. All right. Who would make a better Randy Taylor? 15 total votes. Jordan, I'm sorry to say, Ian Armitage, 47%. My boy Griffin Gluck, 53%.
Man, some really close polls here.
They are. Most of them were pretty close, except for Anthony Anderson. All right, last one. Last one, and perhaps the most frustrating. Which person would make a better Mark Taylor? 17 total votes. 41% said Jacob Tremblay, who is a real actor in Oscar-nominated movies. 59% said Ralph Wiggum, who is a cartoon character that sometimes shows up on The Simpsons. So, kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
I knew I felt real good about that Ralph Wiggum pick, so yeah, it's good to see him come in.
But yeah, that's it for the polls. Thank you, everyone, for voting, and I guess, when they go ahead and do a recasting of Home Improvement IRL, we know who to go to.
Yeah, I think there might be a breaking news graphic coming down the pike in in the next Twitter, where I'll just put the recasting in a big graphic image, and you can tweet it out.
Good thinking, Jordan. Good thinking. Other than that, I got the Karn man involved. He wanted his son to play Al, which makes sense. I asked Patricia Richardson how she'd been doing, just on a personal note, and she said, "Hard 2019, but this week things turned for the better." I'm guessing something political happened. Otherwise, yeah, continue to tweet at us, follow us, keep doing fun polls, and just making moves essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see what you're going to talk about this week on your polls. So, all right. With that, I mean, we're not going to do any sort of mailbag review thing because we've got, as you said, a very special Mother's Day episode here, and we've got 2 short conversations that we're going to play here that are from both of our moms. As you said, growing up with Home Improvement, we're going to talk about, what it was like each week. Did we watch the episodes together? What did we like about the show? Favorite characters? Any sort of memories that have to do with the show. So get ready for that. Enjoy that. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Next episode, Adam, do you want to hear it?
I would love to hear it, Jordan.
Whose Car Is It Anyway? Starring Wayne Brady.
Oh, man, I wish, yeah. Then we'd have to have our moms back on again to find out how much they love Wayne Brady, because moms love Wayne Brady.
That is true.
All right. Well, this is our Home Impodcast salute to moms, so please enjoy. All right. We've had some pretty big guests on Home Impodcast: Richard Karn, Patricia Richardson, Carmen Finestra, even Brett White. But today we're joined by one of the biggest gets I think we could possibly get, and that is my mother, Fonda. Mom, how are you today? Thanks for coming on.
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What are you up to today?
Well, I worked this morning, and now I'm just sitting in the living room. Going to go get a haircut.
Okay. Oh, man, I thought our podcast earnings would pay for her retirement. Is that not true, Adam?
not as of now. It's not even paying for, like my sandwiches. So, no, we're not quite there.
Darn. We could win.
Yeah, so, Mom, I wanted to talk about Home Improvement, because this is Home Impodcast. So, you are a person that has said that you don't really like to think of the past a ton. You like to move forward. You don't think of old things a lot. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. I think of old things, look at old pictures, and then I cry. So I don't like to do that.
We don't want that. We don't want that type of interview right now.
Memories have a way of making you a little bit sad, but we don't want to. Home Improvement is not going to make you sad today. So I just want to know, in general, what are your thoughts on Home Improvement? What do you think of the show, or what do you remember about the show? Just generally.
Ooh. Okay. I know we watched it every week as a family. We always enjoyed it. My favorite was Randy, and we did see the cast that time in Traverse City, and we were pretty excited. And I was just like the kids. We kind of ran around behind doors and sort of snuck around trying to see them, but didn't want them to see us.
Right.
That's kind of my memory.
Okay. Why do you like Randy? What do you like about him?
Well, he was cute and sassy.
He was sassy. Yeah,
just like Adam.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit like Adam. And so, I liked Randy best. Yeah, I did. Now, we did see more of Brad at Traverse City. We didn't ever get our eyes on Randy, although we tried.
We did try very hard.
Dad says we did, but I don't remember it.
Well, Dad will have his day in the sun when Father's Day comes. So
I'll tell
him to stay in the background for now, if possible. So, with the Traverse City thing, we've talked about that on the show before. But when you say sneaking around behind doors, what do you mean by we were like hiding in the hopes that they wouldn't see us as we were looking for them, or what do you mean?
Yes, they were. Okay. I think that Brad and I don't even remember who else was up playing pool, as I remember. Yeah. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
And so we kind of, I don't know how we heard they were up there, but we kind of snuck up and we kind of hid around the corner so they wouldn't see us staring. And, So, I was just like one of the kids.
I remember Brad swearing when he was playing pool. Do you remember that?
I do. And then we thought, oh, no.
We thought, oh no, this is going on the wrong path.
Don't put a bad influence on my son.
That's right, yeah. And the rest is history.
That's right.
Okay. You liked Randy. What do you, Tim Allen? You a fan? You like his movies? What are your thoughts on him? He's the pure Michigan guy, so that's something that we encounter kind of often. But overall, what do you think of him?
I think Tim has a great voice for the pure Michigan ads. He, I don't know that. I just think his voice is perfect for it. I've seen some of his Christmas movies. I liked Toy Story.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
And Ron loves Toy Story, your little nephew.
That's right. He does.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. So I do like that. So yes, I'd say I like him in general.
Mostly you like him because he does your Michigan stuff.
Right. And politically, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's something we all.
That's a horse of a different color. Right.
Yeah, we stay away from those topics on Home Impodcast. Now, is this your first podcast you're doing?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, you sound like a seasoned veteran.
You do.
Oh, thank you.
Like a seasoned pro.
Okay.
What else? In terms of watching the show every week, I remember that as well. Do you remember specific memories? For instance, I remember watching the finale, everybody gathering around. Do you have any memories of that?
I remember doing it, but no. I mean, we were sad because we always loved it, and we always looked forward to it. I think it was on Sunday night? Tuesday, Dad says.
Okay, Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday.
Yeah, and so we always looked forward to it, and we were sad that it was going to be done. But
yeah. And maybe a little bit disappointed by the finale, I feel like.
Yeah, I remember you guys were. Yeah, I do remember that.
You didn't feel that feeling necessarily?
I don't remember feeling disappointed, especially.
What are some TV shows that, just to give context for it, what are some TV shows that you like or that you're watching right now?
That I'm watching right now? Oh, boy. We're watching the Game of Thrones.
Okay. How do you like that?
I really do. I like it a lot. I didn't think I would. But I surprised myself because I also love The Walking Dead. And
you like that violent stuff, it sounds like.
It doesn't seem like it would be something I would like, but I do like both of those.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're still watching West Wing, and we're way behind. Trying to think. Oh, we like The Sixth now.
Which one is that? Is that the one, the Marshall Clark stuff?
Yes. Yep, we like that. Okay. Yeah, we like some of the ABC comedies at night, like the Goldbergs and.
Sure. You're watching some TV then. You watch.
We do, yeah, we do. We're here by ourselves.
Television watching. Yeah, well, that's you're quasi-retired, so that's to be expected, I think.
Right, exactly.
Well, Jordan, do you have any questions that you want to ask my mom?
I think she kind of covered everything I could ever want and more.
It's true, yeah. This was very, very helpful. Mom, Mother's Day is coming up, and we wanted to just say Happy Mother's Day to our mother and tell them how much we love them. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I love you very much, too.
So now Adam doesn't have to get you anything else, right?
No, that's all right. Last year, he got me the best gift. It was planned. That was the most wonderful gift. It just bloomed all summer, and we liked it so much that we saved it all over the winter. And other people have had to do it. Amanda in our office had to water it all winter because I was gone gallivanting around. And so anyway, it was a good gift, and it's going to give again this summer.
Wow, Adam, you are.
That sounds like I don't need to give another one. That sounds like I think I got it covered then.
You do. Yeah, you do. It's true.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that is it. Thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you for having me.
People, I don't know how much Home Impodcast you're listening to necessarily.
I do listen. Not every week, but I do listen.
Well, that's fair. I wouldn't listen every week either if I were you. But keep tuning in and tell your friends at work about the podcast. Maybe your realty friends, they might like it.
I will. Okay, I will. And I just told one of them that I was going to be on it. She said, "Oh, good, tell me because I want to hear it." So
yeah, well,
I will.
that'll be perfect. Yeah, new listeners.
I will let them know.
We're gonna get the Fonda bump.
That's right.
Get the
Give
Fonda
it a bump.
bump. Yeah. All right, Mom. I will talk to you later on. Happy Mother's
Okay.
Day. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much.
All right, part 2 of our Mother's Day special. We have the one and only Lil Dauber, LL Dauber, but Lil Dauber according to Adam, and that's my mother. Mom, how are you doing?
Good, Jordan. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. Did you ever think you would see the day where you would be on a home improvement podcast with your son?
Not in my wildest imagination.
Well, you probably didn't know what a podcast was before I started talking about it.
No.
So it definitely didn't enter your realm of thought in the last year or so. But
no.
I will say you're probably one of our most loyal fans, so I just want to say thank you for supporting us in that way.
I love it. It's not a hard thing to do.
All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. So what we're going to do, as listeners heard in our previous interviews, we're just going to talk a little bit about your memories of home improvement, and kind of what we did as a family growing up, and what the show meant to you. So I just want to start with what do you remember about the show, and how did that shape? Were we watching it as it was coming out live every week? Were we watching it as a family? I apparently don't remember these things, so maybe you will.
I do remember some of my favorite shows were sitcoms, comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So this sounded like a good family show to watch. Working class family, mother of boys, had a lot in common with that, having 4 boys and being a working class family. I do not think we watched a lot of shows together, partially because Dad was working or gone a lot in the evenings.
You make it sound like he was the worst dad, like he just disappeared and he never came back.
He was working a lot for the family in the evenings.
Yes.
We had, lots of TVs, and so it just seemed like there would be one room that the people would watch a show without interruption. There would be another room where people would watch and flip the channels. So
we had our own factions,
Yes, yeah.
You went to the living room if you wanted to watch Friends, and you went to the family room if you wanted to watch Home Improvement.
Yeah, I was not a channel flipper. I just wanted to sit and watch a show, beginning to end.
You like to focus, and you use the commercial time to really just analyze what you've seen so far.
Well, no, there was no analysis done. No, no.
All right.
It was just I thought it was funny. I thought there was some true moments in it, true to life. And when you guys analyze it sometimes on your podcast, I never thought of that at the time. This is really stupid. This doesn't make sense. How are the logistics working out here? It was just, entertainment, no stress involved.
Well, to be fair, I don't think most people are thinking of that stuff. They don't sit down to a situational comedy just wondering about whether Wilson would know these things or whatever. But you talked about some situations being true to life, or maybe some memorable episodes. Can you talk about some of your very favorite moments?
My favorite show is the one with the snake in the basement.
Oh yeah, Wild Kingdom.
Just could watch that one over and over and again and laugh because it was funny, and I hate snakes. So
I was gonna say you probably were a bit. You got some goosebumps every time that snake popped out.
Yeah.
Did you ever think it was a real snake? Is that what you first thought, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember that little toy snake that we had at our house that we would sometimes pop out?
Meanest thing ever. Why would you buy a fake snake to scare people with?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was mine too. I'm not sure how I got my hands on it.
Yes. It was one of those silly, souvenir stores that you see on vacation. You just got to have that one certain thing.
Wow.
The toy gun, the rubber band gun, the fake snake.
Yeah, one thing it can definitely say, I don't know if this is, giving you credit or not, but you didn't say no to me very often, so I ended up with things like toy snakes from souvenir stores. So
in the correct price range. Maybe that was where you were smart. You got the correct price range.
I was a very shrewd man. Yeah. All right. Favorite? Do you have like a favorite character of the boys? Which boy? Or maybe? Oh, I got a good question after that. Tell me your favorite boy, and then I want you to tell me which one reminds you of me the most.
Well, I don't know. It's pretty hard not to say Randy is the favorite, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the right answer.
Brad was a little bit too full of himself. Mark was just kind of felt sorry for that boy.
We do too.
Yeah. And so I just liked Randy, of course, the connection with the Lion King and his, I do think he was the better actor in that group. So
I agree. Be careful with how you answer this question then. Now that you've talked about how Brad is too full of himself and how Mark is a sad, helpless boy, which one of those boys do you resonate with me? I think Adam said I was Mark. Would you agree with him?
I would agree with none. Really, none.
None. Okay.
None. Yeah, I can't say no.
The old curveball from Mom. That's good. That's good. All right.
Yeah. Now, do you remember when your brother Jason was Tim Taylor in the school play?
Oh my gosh. No. What? Tell me more about that.
Second grade. I can say that none of our children ever was high on the music teacher's list for being good in class and full participating and not.
And yet she made us all starring roles every once in a while.
Well, in this case for Jason, it was a home improvement year, and Jason got picked because she felt he would focus better if he had this to concentrate on, and he was very good. He did a great job. I don't know what his memory is, if he was nervous or it was a lot of pressure or whatever. It came across very well. It was very funny. It was just a popular show at the time, and the music teacher made that a highlight. So
did they do like an ER themed play the next year or what? I don't.
No, I don't remember that there was any TV show focus after that. But just because Jason was in that, and I was always stressful for a parent to watch a child be,
And Tim Taylor, I mean, that's the star role. He wasn't just in it; he was the star.
Right. Yes, a lot of focus on him. I really thought he was going to be sick that day, but he wasn't. He pulled it off.
Well, and 4 years later, she made me play Santa. So
yeah. Another stressful day for me.
No, stressful for everybody involved. Trust me. Well, I guess when National Siblings Day comes up or something, I'll have to get Jason on here and ask him about his memories of that. I do not remember that at all. That's an incredible connection. So
well, believe me, you did go watch because I made you.
We support each other in the Lions family. So, all right. Any other? I mean, do you have a favorite Home and Podcast episode? I know there's probably two. It's too hard to choose. We're just so funny on all of them.
I have to say, probably in every one I do laugh because of the way you guys handle each other. Whether you're sarcastic, whether you're just, coming up with memories, or maybe memories that aren't truly true.
Oh, we're making stuff up? Is that what we do?
Well, let's just say that it's been a surprise to me, some things you guys have talked about.
All right. Well, I mean, just because you weren't there for, my bowling antics doesn't mean they didn't happen. I don't know.
I know, surely this many years later, that I had the wool pulled over my eyes many times. But we all survived, and that's good.
That's good. All right. Any words for Adam now that he's not here? Do you want to say anything mean about him? He can't fight back, so.
I will say nothing mean about Adam. I think it's great that you two have pulled this off for so many episodes, and I do enjoy it. So
some other people might not say it's great, but I'm glad you like it, and what a treat to have my mom on this episode. So I hope this is just one part of your Mother's Day gift. You get to be on Home Impodcast.
Oh, a thrill! I hope Adam's mom feels the same.
Oh, I'm sure she does. So, all right. Well, that's all we have for now. So, thank you for joining me, Mom. Love you. Happy Mother's Day.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye.